What do golf cart turf wars, gas station heroin, and a proclamation that died in a tie vote all have in common? They all went down at last night's Vista City Council meeting. And of course, I watched the whole thing, so you didn't have to. Lucky for me, we had another merciful 2-hour meeting this week, so let's pour the tea. If you're new here, hi, I'm Chris Rainwaters, Vista, California's self-proclaimed village witch and a licensed realtor here in Southern California. Every couple weeks, I sit through the Vista City Council meeting, so you don't have to, and then I pour the tea on what it all actually means for your home, your wallet, and your neighborhood. And today... And Chico says hello. And today's tea is brought to you by, well, me. Well, one of my other hats, Chris Rainwaters Home Services. Think of it as a home stewardship circle, a roster of heavily vetted professionals for literally any home-related job that you can think of. And if I don't already have the perfect person for what you need, I will do all the legwork and find you an amazing one. The link is in the description below, or you can call the number on your screen. Now, if your home needs are a little more spiritual, you know, ghosts, portals, bad juju, that uninvited energy in the back bedroom, that's what my other circle is for. Just reach out to me directly and I'll connect you to the right person for the job. Wink. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the thing that hits every single one of you. Another utility bill is going up, and this time it's, drumroll please, your trash bill. This inflation thing is really starting to get annoying, am I right? Vista has an exclusive deal with EDCO, and they came in asking for a rate increase tied to inflation and tipping fees. Here is the real number. So the most common residential service, so that's your 95-gallon cart picked up weekly, goes from $36.97 to $38.32. That's $1.35 more a month. Commercial 3-yard bins jump about $6 and some change. So 23 people did write in to protest before the meeting, plus one more at the meeting, and I totally get it. Councilmember Contreras said the quiet part out loud, which she pushed back on locking in automatic increases all the way through 2030 to 2031 when people are already squeezed as it is. One elderly resident basically said, like, look, their SDG&E bill is brutal. Everything costs more. And now this too, I mean, just ugh. It passed anyway because it kind of had to, I guess. So budget for the extra $1.35, friends. You could cancel one streaming service that you forgot you had, or do what I do and just stare at your bank app with mild dread, like at least once a month. Works every time. Okay, speed round, because public comment was a variable buffet. So starting with Shadow Ridge golf carts, a resident says that the carts are using a private street by the golf course and not the paths that were made for them. So walkers are getting pushed into the mix with cars and contractors and whatnot. And so there's some confusion over some old resolution to this. Staff said that they would follow up. Then short-term rentals came up. All right, so picture this. There's an unhosted STR, which is short-term rental, like an Airbnb or whatever, next door. It's the middle of the night and the noise is out of control. The barbecue is barbecuing, so you're rudely awoken at 2 a.m. with splashing noise, you know, partying and like 2 a.m. meat aroma. So you call the required 24/7 contact line, you know, the one that exists for exactly this moment, and you get no one, which completely defeats the point of requiring a contact in the first place. So I feel for this guy. We are all entitled to a little peace in our homes, especially in the middle of the night. Well, except on New Year's Eve and the 4th of July, when every yokel from here to Timbuktu crawls out of the woodwork with illegal fireworks, ruining my beauty rest and terrorizing my poor fur babies. But that is a different rant for a different time. But it is appropriate with 4th of July right around the corner. But I'm also sure that anyone watching this show is also an upstanding citizen and just enjoys the big fireworks display at one of the many places all throughout Southern California that happily provides a spectacular show. Personally, I spend it in Lake Arrowhead with my parents and get to watch it from the lake shore. It's pretty awesome. Okay, focus, Chris. Oh, then everyone's favorite sport, pickleball, but as more of a menace than a fun pastime. So the Thibodeau Park neighbors are back and still complaining about the really annoying noise from the pickleball courts, which run 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. and are pretty packed all day. They want an update on moving or converting them or figuring something out because they too would like peace in their home. I know, weird concept. They must not have a rooster nearby. So the Thibodeau Park pickleball wars continue. And then gas station heroin. I know, but that's the actual phrase. I think the first time I heard that actually was on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Have you heard it before? Anyway, several people raised alarms about cannabis. You know, the usual suspects from every meeting. Youth use drive-through weed now, and these intoxicating products, aka gas station heroin, which are sold at gas stations and smoke shops. And yeah, I agree. Teenagers should not be putting this crap in their bodies. We have enough challenges with literacy and screens in this society. We don't need anything else fucking with their developing brains and bodies. But until we can get the offending products removed, educate your kids, please. Next, weed abatement. No, not that kind of weed. And this one does matter more than it sounds because we do live in fire country. So here's the spread. In the 2025 program, 597 properties got notified. Out of all of those, only 2 actually needed the city to send a contractor to clear them. So not too shabby, exemplary work, I would say, to our fire department. I mean, you just can't top Vista. We are seriously one of the best. And I would challenge to say, in all of Southern California. The unpaid total came to $5,840, and the city is putting those charges on the property tax rolls. What I loved here was Fire Chief Washington dropped some real numbers. Last year, inspections took 3 months and over 2,000 re-inspections. This year, 1 month and about 200 re-inspections. This is a program that is getting dramatically more efficient. Councilmember Contreras asked the obvious question, which is, what about people who genuinely cannot afford to clear their property? Because that cost does add up really fast. And honestly, this is where I hate to admit it, but Mayor Franklin had a point. If you've got real equity in a home you can no longer maintain, it may be time to downsize or liquidate. And there's no shame in that. A property is a reflection of a season of life. And sometimes the most loving thing that you can do for one is let someone else love it next. They also got into Zone 0 defensible space and a possible community fire prevention fair, which, side note, I have wanted to host in my own neighborhood for like forever since I learned that is a thing. The only holdup is that my backyard remodel, which I have now been officially working on since the dawn of time, isn't done yet. So the second that that thing is finally done, it is happening, I promise. And I say this because, and here's the part worth knowing, is your whole neighborhood can get Firewise certified. And then when you do, you can qualify for a discount on your homeowner's insurance. Yeah, baby, lower fire risk and a lower bill. I am absolutely all for making that happen in my neighborhood. So consider this your nudge to look into it for your neighborhood, or you could just come help me finally finish my backyard and I will host it for you. Or you could lend me your backyard and I'll throw the whole shindig at your spot. Seriously, reach out to me. Let's do some good in our community together and fight rising costs where we can. For everyone. If you own here, Zone 0 is going to keep coming up, so know your defensible space. Okay, now 2 fast ones. Sewer work is coming to the North Santa Fe area, and Councilmember Melendez flagged that it could get disruptive, and so the city says that they're going to reach out to affected businesses and residents first to alert them. And then the council updated its own meeting rules to match a new state law. So like if the internet goes out during a meeting, they now have to recess for up to an hour to try to fix it instead of just like bailing after 10 minutes. They also added a hard 10:30 p.m. stop, so now there's official bedtime. And thank you so much. I wish it was 9:30, but I digress. Now we'll go over election housekeeping for the November 3rd race, and one of these is honestly pretty absurd. So the first were the candidate statements. So the council decided to keep the 400-word option and candidates pay for it themselves. So for reference, the county quoted about $1,300 for 200 words, $2,000 for 400 words. So if you run, that statement comes out of your pocket. So you had better have chosen your words wisely, said to any future council member candidates out there. Second, tie vote. So So right now, if there's a tie in an election, the county breaks it by lot. So like they flip a coin or literally draw a name out of a hat or something. The alternative is a special election, and those apparently cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So council took no action, and so coin toss it is. And Councilmember Contreras, bless her, suggested a dance-off or karaoke would be better. And honestly, yeah, I completely agree. It'd be like a talent competition or something, and we could all vote on Instagram. I don't know. Or with one of those clap-o-meters, like in the movies. I mean, it's all the same amount of absurdity at this point, but I digress. All right, so let's slow down for a second because it's time to have a big money conversation that I don't think is general knowledge, but it is absolutely worth knowing. So Prop L is that 30-year local sales tax that Vista voters approved back in 2006. So this is for public safety, fire stations, the civic center, parks, and road repair. Here's where the reserve sits. So the last audit was about 20.5 million, and it's projected to land near 17 million by the end of this fiscal year, right? But if our current trends hold, how we have it invested, it looks like it could grow to around 62 million by the final year of the measure. And that is a lot of money. So where is that money going? We did the fire station number 3 rebuild, the Wave Water Park. We got a reserve ladder fire truck, the Moonlight Amphitheater roof, and the lighting upgrades. All fantastic stuff. But here's the part to watch. Councilmember Contreras pointed out that the original Vista Sports Park plan included a community center, but that center was never built. So she wants that promise revisited. Mayor Franklin agreed if promises were made to voters, then they should look at the unmet ones. And Councilmember Fox raised the smart and unsexy point, though, that before we spend down reserves, we do actually need to understand the long-term maintenance costs of everything that Prop L already built, because deferred maintenance is how cities get burned later, and Vista is rebuilding from that sort of thing. So staff's coming back with more, possibly a whole policy. This is one to keep watching, and I will do that for you here. Okay, and now the headline, the piece de resistance, the reason that this meeting got tense. Oh my gosh. So Mayor Franklin brought forward this proclamation, and you can pause it here and read it if you need to recognize June 2026 as Christian American Heritage Month in Vista. His intent, according to him, was to recognize the contributions of local Christian churches, ministries, and faith leaders who serve the community. He felt it was carefully written and didn't elevate one religion over another. Now, a member of the public stood up and warned about the First Amendment and about other cities that have faced legal rights over proclamations exactly like this one. And thank you for saying so, sir. What a valid thing to bring to council. And then the council split. So Councilmember Melendez said that faith is really important to her personally, but she could not support what she called a sterilized version of Christian American history. She named some of the hard stuff like Christian boarding schools, the forced conversion of indigenous people, and the role some institutions played in colonialism, slavery, murder, including the burning of witches and the Klan. Her line was basically, hey, if we tell the story, we have to tell the whole story. Councilmember Contreras was also a hard no as written. She said her role on council is secular and that the Constitution intentionally doesn't reference Christianity. And she said that right after admitting that her own upbringing and daily life does have deep Catholic roots. So her stance was not anti-faith, it was pro-Constitution. Councilmember Fox saw it differently. To him, it was simply a chance to honor specific local Christian groups doing real good in Vista, the churches and volunteers showing up for the community, although worth noting, no specific churches or people were actually named in the proclamation. Melendez then said, okay, if you want to recognize specific local organizations for their service, that is a different and a whole workable, awesome conversation. But she wasn't interested in supporting a broad heritage month that names the good without naming the harm. And here's me stepping in, Chris Rainwater's backing up my council members on this. So history is history. Christianity has done real good, and it has also been used to bully, torture, and murder a whole lot of people who didn't think or still don't think the same way. And that part isn't ancient, it's ongoing. And I'll add this too. So right now, the federal government just cut the military's list of officially recognized religions from 211 down to 31, quietly erasing about 180 faiths, including pagan, Wiccan, and other minority traditions, from recognition for the people who serve this country. So when that's the national mood, I don't think now is the time to be doubling down on one religion over all the others. Not here, not in Vista. This is a safe space for everybody, and personally, I'd like to keep it that way. So Councilmember Contreras made a substitute motion to table it. That vote came back split 2-2 with Deputy Mayor O'Donnell absent. So the motion failed, which means the proclamation wasn't tabled, but it also wasn't adopted. It just died in the tie, so no proclamation. And honestly, I'm really curious how the deputy mayor would have voted, because he would have swung this thing. The whole outcome could have gone differently. So if it's permitted, and if you're watching, Deputy Mayor Daniel O'Donnell, do you care to weigh in down in the comments? I think that we all want to know. But if you're not Dan and you're curious to know, let me know or let him know down in the comments whether you'd want to hear his take, and I will put this in his face as soon as I see him and get us some answers. All right, and then on that note, council is going dark for July, which means that the next regular meeting is August 11th, and I get a break. Before they left, though, they did do a little housekeeping. They sang happy birthday to Councilmember Fox. Councilmember Melendez plugged the Clean Energy Alliance, and seriously, look into that one if you want to save some scratch on your electric bill. Councilmember Contreras shouted out a scholarship dinner and aired some very real frustration again with Sandag over the Inland Rail Trail delays, which, you know, she does pretty much every meeting, and which I 100% empathize with her on. And Mayor Franklin reminded everyone that fireworks have always been and still are illegal. So leave it to the pros, please. Vista's fire department is amazing, but let's not test them, okay? My insurance premiums are high enough as they are, and my dogs are high enough anxiety as they are. Oh wait, that's me. Well, anyway, so he said, so instead come out to the city's official 4th of July at Brangle Terrace Park, which I will not be there, so I will not see you. I, again, will be up in Lake Arrowhead watching their show from the beach like I do with my family every single year. And hey, if a second home somewhere has ever crossed your mind, Lake Arrowhead is worth a look. I've got a whole playlist on life and buying up there, and I'll link it right here for you. So that's your tea before the summer break. If you found this useful, the single best thing that you can do is hit like and then subscribe. And because I read every single comment and I genuinely want to know, how would you have voted on the mayor's proposed Christian Heritage Month? No wrong answers. I just want real ones. And if you want to rep the coven, I've got tees and hats and other gear in my Witchy shop. That link is below also. Now, one last thing, separate from the home services circle I mentioned at the beginning. If you're ready to actually make a move on a home here in North County or beyond, that's me in my realtor hat, quite literally. You can schedule a consult with me or grab one of my free guides. There's so many links and beautiful things down below. No pressure, of course. You guys know me. I'll see you in the next one, but hopefully sooner.